Hi everyone, and welcome to our follow-up episode on gluing and assembling the models. So let's get on with doing the drones now. Alright, so we've got all three of them disassembled. Now to glue the gun drones together. Here with the trusted glue. So one thing to note with the glue, when it comes with a spike like this, it's good to clean the spike before you put it back out, put it back in the case after each session. That way it'll minimize the chance of it getting glued into the case. Alright, away we go. Alrighty, so that's the first three drones done. That was the gun drones. So with these ones I reduced it down to a single antenna for each of them, and that's just to go with what the pictures show. The only one that actually had two antennae was the shield drone. That's this one with the bulbous base. So this one gets bonus antenna. The rest are just going to stick with a single antenna. And now we'll just fast forward through the remaining three drones. Alright, so the three other drones, that's the one shield drone and the two marker drones, they're all disassembled and ready to be glued. Now that all of the drones are glued together, we've got two marker drones, one shield drone And I actually forgot the second antenna on the shield drone. So just a touch more glue. And we'll do this in real time. Okay, that'll hold. And then we have the 3 gun drones. So they should all hold pretty well. Next step, let's start with the gun drones. We'll glue the bases. So just the bases, not gluing the models onto the bases. That way these will stop coming off. So let's just start with the first one. Get the glue in and around it. Then we'll let it rest on its side. That way it won't have any vapor lock on this surface. Because the cutting board is a bit plasticky and I don't want that gluing the bases onto it. I'm also using a bit of excessive glue. That way it should fill in any gaps, because you can see there's gaps by the amount of wiggle there is. The pieces don't fit perfectly, so that they're not too tight when they get slotted in. I also want a bit of excess glue so that when this base piece goes on, it'll push it so that it's not just the cylindrical connection, but it's between the base and the flared out point of the spike. Today's episode is just going to be a quick one with doing the assembly of these drones, and we'll have time. So after this we're going to be doing similar to this, of adding the the transparent plastic spike onto the black base for the battle suits. It's a bit more of an involved process than just these 6 bases, 2 pieces each. Just put glue on one side and put the other side where the glue is. Right. Very simple. These ones, it all wiggles as one now. It's not sticky on the bottom, so we can connect them all up. Once these are all done, we can get on with the other bases. So for the other ones, they're going to be first a hole needs to be bored. Once there's a hole in the black slab, the hole needs to be expanded. So first I'll use this spike. This spike tool will make the initial insertion. From there I'll use a drill. The drill will flare it out, and that will make more of a hole so that I can then fit in a blade, and the blade will expand out the hole enough to fit in these transparent spikes because they've got a much larger base diameter than what the spike tool will provide. Okay. So here's a base. Here's one of the transparent pieces. And for the initial hole, that spike is very small. But it's just going to be enough so that the drill won't slip while I'm drilling it. So I need to do this for 3 of the battle suits. So the commander torso lines up there. And so if I put it in the center and have his legs, it's a fair way forwards on the base. So in gameplay, that'll be bumping into the other miniatures if it's in melee combat. Whereas if I have it further back on the base, the feet are more secure, the weighting of it is going to be more secure, and centralized weighting to it. And so from that, we've got the spot that I want. Alright, now that's left a mark. Just grabbing the drill. Okay, so there's the spot. Making sure my fingers are not in a direct line with the drill, but shifting them a bit closer. So I can press. It's not going to bend the plastic as much because my grip is closer to the point of pressure of the drill. But still being careful not to let the drill punch through with my fingers in the way. The reason for the 3-step process on this is because the modeling knife is needed for making the hole that's large enough, but the modeling knife will slip around too much and it'll dull the tip of the knife, which is kind of the most important part of the blade. for this I'll be using the other end of the spike tool because it has a reasonably dulled hobby blade on it. Just checking my grip in case there's any slip. It's still out of alignment with the drill, that's good. Alright, you can see the drill is making some progress, but it's very slow. So let's just fast forward through this. Okay, and we're through. So you can see we're all the way through now. And that's because the thickness of this plastic is it's much less than the depth of the spike that's going to go into through it. So now to make the actual hole using a blade. Line that up and just twisting it around. This is in real time and you can see that it's generating a hole much faster than the drill was. And on the other side, just to keep the hole fairly even. Don't want it sloping into a point. Alright, that fits well. You can see it pokes through. That's the problem with letting it set. Thankfully I'd already dealt with that issue, so it wasn't going to stick in the lid by much. Okay, a bit of glue around the base where it's going to go. Bit of glue. Just twisting this around so that it's only going into the edge, because I don't want it dripping all the way down. Get some tissue. So that can go off to the side and dry while we cruise through and do the next two. Alright, so using that technique for drilling with using a blade actually digs away a lot of plastic very quickly. So now moving on to gluing both of the remaining bases, and then it's all done. So the battle suits still have the torso. So the torso is dried for each of these, where the torso connects with the legs. And and then where the shoulder pad is going to go on. Kept it clear of where the jetpack is. And just a quick recap, there's a lot of overlap with the elbow area. And because of that, I'm going to keep them separate for painting. And once they're painted, can glue them together. So when I'm gluing it, I think I'm going to strip away the paint. So I'll be spraying them so that there's just a black base paint everywhere. After I finish the paint, I'll strip it away on the shoulder, and I'll strip it away on the inside of the shoulder pad. That way it'll have a smooth plastic to plastic bonding for more plastic cement to connect them to prevent any future breaks. Same with the sections there that go together. Alright. Also, we could connect the transparent plastic spike there. That won't actually get in the way of the painting for the top half, because the bottom half isn't getting in the way. Also, the plastic spike won't get in the way of painting the back of the legs, so the back of the pelvis, because it's not even going to be attached at that point. So let's do that. That way we'll have a larger section to hold while painting the torsos. Can hold the spike. That'll make it easier for painting. So on with the glue. Alright, so the three larger bases have been glued. So just leaving them on the tissue so that there's no damage to the board, and so that they can just rest without any vapor issues. That'll be it for today. So everything's ready to go. In fact, I could even glue the drones onto their bases. That way I'll have the plastic base to hold onto while painting them. Yep, that'll work. Let's do that now. There we are. All of the drones are glued. The bases for the battle suits still need to dry properly before I'll glue the torsos onto the spikes. And so that'll be all for today. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye now.